Hello everyone, welcome to the 2024 Genesee Valley Park course preview. A couple notes before we begin. There's going to be 2 tees on almost every hole. The short tees are going to be roughly 50 feet shorter on the par 3s and 100 feet shorter on the par 4s. The numbers here are just, the distance numbers here for each tee are just kind of guidelines. That might change by 20, 50 feet depending on the final position of the tee pads and baskets, but at least it'll kind of give you a general sense of where things are going to be. You can find this course on UDisc. You just have to search for Genesee Valley Park and press enter. It's not going to show up unless you type it all out and press enter. So on this hole, we do have out of bounds on or over the walking path. Almost every walking path is going to be out of bounds on or over, as well as fully on the concrete. No touching grass here in the pavilion as well. Otherwise, this is a really straightforward hole. It's kind of a stock hyzer for a righty backhand. Basket's going to be in this grove of trees. Now, hole 2 and hole 4 are actually swapped here in this video, but they're pretty similar holes. They're just kind of a straight shot with not much going in the way. So it's really just a matter of landing well and not overshooting the basket into the out of bounds. Hole 3, the real hole 3, is going to play alongside the river. The river's down here. OB will be marked with a line. And you also have OB on the walking path on the right side. I imagine some rollers here, some low skip shots. The basket will be placed right around next to this scraggly bush here. So if you're out practicing, use that scraggly bush as a reference. And hole 4 is actually hole 2. It's a little bit longer than this. Basket's going to be up. You probably either want to go around these trees or through these two. And right around where, not where Kyle's standing, is actually going to be placed over towards the side of this hill. Hole 5 plays north. There's a walking path here. The river bends around the corner there. There will be a mando on this tree, so you're not throwing out over the sidewalk. It's a short hole, but the challenge is getting it through these trees. Your best bet is going to be posting it through these 2 trees right here, because the basket is going to be on this stump right here with the out of bounds walking path right behind it. So if you're landing out here, you're going to have a hard putt. So you need to get as close to this stump as possible to have a good chance at birdie. Hole 6. For this hole, you need about 300 feet from the long tees to clear this OB creek. So we have this OB creek. We're going to have about a 60-foot wide swatch for the green, and then you have the OB path behind it. So you need to clear the creek, but not go too far and overshoot the green to get your chance at a birdie. So yeah, the basket's going to be on the strip right there. Hole 4, it's listed as a par 4 here on the video. It's a par 3 on UDisc. It's kind of depending day of how busy the park is and if this pavilion is going to get used. If it's not in use, or if the pavilion is in use, it's going to be a par 3 and the basket's going to be on the stump. It's going to be a long par 3, maybe about 350-ish feet. Par 4, it's going to be past, if it's going to be a par 4, we're going to be past the corner of the pavilion here around this low stump, or low tree branch, probably a little farther. Hole 8, it's going to be a left to right hole. So off the tee, we're shooting the basket. We'll see right coming up here. It's actually going to be through this little archway in the clearing, as you'll see coming through. But if you don't make your big turnover shot or your forehand shot and it drops down, you do have a little window to poke through to try to make a putt. Otherwise, a big Sky Annie is going to get there with the basket behind. Hole 9 is an island hole. So you need to clear this walking path. There's also a walking path here on the right side and the parking lot, the left side, and the parking lot on the right side. It kind of goes to infinity behind that, but it's not really, you're not going to be throwing it that far. Basket's going to be on the left side, tucked around these trees near the walking path. So if you land it safe in the middle of the island, you're going to have a putt towards out of bounds. Hole 10's a fun hole. It starts by the bathrooms there on the right side, or left side. You can't see them up there. This hole is uphill behind this downed tree right here. So if you come up short, you're going to have to shoot over the trunk, and the basket is going to be right there. Hole 11 is the farthest hole on the course, longest hole on the course, par 4, roughly 750 feet. For the long tees, you're going to want to have to shoot between these two trees and get around these farther trees out into the open as far right as possible to set up your second shot. Short tees are going to be after those trees, so you really only have to beat these trees to get into the open field. So again, we get out into the open field for your big second shot. Basket is going to be placed around this rock here, probably on the left side, somewhat towards the, not too close to the out of bounds. It's going to be on the left side so it doesn't interfere with hole 12. So to get to hole 12, you're going to walk through the little fun trees there and up to the road. This one's going to be another left to right hole. Not super far, but you have the low ceiling and you have this hill that you have to beat. And as you see here in a second, you got to beat that hill, and the basket's going to be right around here. So you got to get over the hill, but you don't want to overshoot it and land out in the clearing near hole 12's basket. And you don't want to come up short and then have to putt downhill. Hole 13 is across the street. You're going to jump over to see where the statue is, and then the tee's going to be back by the tree line. It is probably the easiest hole in the course because there's least amount of danger. You just have to beat these trees, but you can get it with a low hyzer shot. Basket's going to be right around where that squirrel was. Hole 14's back across the street again on the western side. You have the basket's going to be back on this tree line, way back here. So you either have to go around with a low hyzer with a big skip, or lay down a really fast roller to fight through all these trees, as you'll see in a second. So yes, the basket's going to be tucked away in this little grove of trees right here. It's probably one of the more challenging holes on the course. Hole 15 is a bit of a walk. You're going to have to walk along Moore Road past the down tree trunk for hole 10, I believe that was. Down, and then you'll come here and you're shooting west down towards Roundhouse. The Roundhouse building's down here. So this is a downhill shot. You have a low ceiling. The path it's going to be like a creek, so it's out of bounds only if you land on it. And the basket's going to be placed right around here on this right side. Hole 16, it's kind of a transitional hole. We just needed to get to hole 17, so it's not the most exciting. Again, you have the OB walkway, and then also on or over the road, little entrance road, as well as more road too, but you're probably not going to reach it. So it's going to be up. You got to beat this tree here, and then get around this trunk. Basket's going to be behind it. Hole 17, pretty challenging hole. You have a narrowing fairway. This is again across the street, across the street on Moore to the other side. Narrowing fairway, and there's going to be a very large drop off behind it. So there's going to be an OB line there, so you guys aren't playing from a very steep embankment. So there's going to be the OB line behind. Basket's going to be on this right side. Once you're done with the hole, proceed down the path. You'll see it from the basket. There's a little path there that leads under the bridge. As soon as you go under the bridge, hang a right, and then you'll get to hole 18. Hole 18 is probably the most punishing hole on the course. It's par 4. Don't hit any of the cars in the parking lot. I don't have any confirmation on if we can block that parking lot off or not, so you're going to have to be careful. You need to try to get you around this tree for your first shot, and then the green is going to be on an island, on this island roundabout. So there we go. There's the course preview. Again, if you wanted to get out sometime this week to get out and practice, the layout's on UDisc. It's going to be at least a rough area of where things are. This is probably going to be a better representation of where the actual baskets and tees are going to be. So good luck.